Over to Talal.
Hi, thanks, Dinesh. About reshaping Sri Lanka in the future, let me add one point. I'm a member of Deloitte's global team on climate and sustainability. So I see going green as a way forward or reshaping ourselves. Because one thing I want to state is that, for example, how we got a mandate to open our economy in 1977, the situation, even if JR had won in 77, I mean, even when he won, gave him that willpower to change the economy way before any country in the rest of the region. So as Dr. Shah and Harsha said, this is a time to think about the long term. I mean, we can somehow try to sort out the short term, but let's make sure this crisis doesn't come for our children. So, and then just summarizing it, we've got as Dr. Shah said, a lot of expert views and a great panel. And the question was always about whether it's a liquidity crisis or a debt crisis. And as many said, it's always better to have a planned fall rather than, trying not to fall and suddenly going off the cliff. And with that, Dr. Shah was saying about how we can go, provided there were so many conditions, like, for example, tourism will work out or the rupee will be stable. But the thing is that we don't know how the situation will be. So most of the projections were based on that, like the government is doing, but there are also the uncertainties coming in those areas. And as Dr. Harsha said, it's also a solvency issue rather than a cash flow. And we are talking about how Nishan spoke about how we can, for example, the downgrade actually, when we were shut out of the capital market was in April 2020. So that was the beginning of it. And so this, and the fact that we have to take into account the state-owned enterprises, the debt there as well. So there is a lot of things in that way as well. And when talking about this issue, we find that we need a sort of there is no short-term outcome for this. So there is always got to be something where we need to, in my view, go for a restructure and look at a more medium to long-term solution to come out of it. Like many countries, as I said, there's a strategy to go towards a greener thing or towards an economy that's more digitized and other ways. But, and also, as I mentioned, I want to come back to it again, a greener economy would be good because what we need at this moment is foreign direct investment. So, and if you saw the recent letter by the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, which controls assets worth $19 trillion. I mean, they're pushing heavy on going green. And also their investments are going to be greener. So if we want to tap into global investments in the coming decades, and what we find is that from reports, each year it's going to be at least $1 trillion going to be invested by 2030. And beyond that, we need around $5 trillion to save the world from the worst effects of climate. So what we find is that Sri Lanka can go in a direction that way, or in a way where we can tap into more of the ICT, digitizing, and all the latest tech trends. So, and as all the panelists would admit, we are a very talented country, and we have an amazing talent here. Even with, for example, the few STEM graduates we have done great work. Like, for example, how the outsourcing we do to some of the largest companies in the world. So with that, I'll conclude that this was an excellent panel and we had a great discussion, and over to you.